So Anusha is asking, what content should I fill my email or newsletter with? There you go. All right, cool. So let's try to answer this. As in anything with marketing, uh, and email is also one form of marketing. Is we always put the reader in the middle of whatever we do, even in sales, right? Because if you're just worried about pushing your own product, people will be turned off. But if you look at from the angle of the reader or from the angle of the prospects, from the angle of the customer, what are they looking for? What are the things that they are interested in? You'll be able to be speaking, basically you'll be able to speak in their language and basically in a better position to communicate your value proposition to them better, all right? So if let's say if I'm in B2B, B2C, right? For example, personal coaching, or basically a solopreneur, for example, or service provider. Okay, so I'm putting the reader in the middle. Then I'm going to look at basically these three questions, right? What are their pain? What are their problems? And what are their fears? So this is one angle that, once I know this, I can write about it. Okay, I can talk about the pains, the fears, their basically their problems in my email. So, and then obviously when you talk about it, you may want to provide solutions or you may want to provide guidance, for example. Okay, so that's one way of filling contents for your email if you're in that niche, right? The next thing is obviously they have aspirations as well. Okay, so you want to share about that, right? Talk about the aspiration and basically share how else or how you can actually help them, or basically through your emails inspire them to actually reach what they want to, where they want to go. Okay, and finally, then you'll be looking at, for example, stuff like maybe there's a gap. Oops, where is it? Maybe there's a gap, right, from where they are to where they want to be. So this gap, it could be time, it could be money, it could be many things, right? It could be skills. So for example, in my newsletter, I write about email marketing for the B2C and B2B, for example. And what I do is basically I talk about the skill sets of writing emails. We'll talk about, for example, address some issues about fears and problems. And then I can mix around with aspiration. So these are the so-called the combination that you can actually use to inspire ideas for you to write your content. Now, let's say now you are in B2B, same thing, right? So if you are in B2B, you will still have your customers will still have their wants and their need. From the corporate basis, there's a corporate want and corporate need, and even from the person who's making the decision itself, he or she would have that need, because end of the day, for example, if they are a project manager, he or she wants to get the job done. Number one. Number two is he wants to get the job done. He or she wants to get the job done so that they stand a chance to be promoted or maybe be given even more high profile projects to manage. So that's two different things, the company aspects and what. So you can actually write these two, okay? And then obviously there's an aspiration side of it. And same thing, there's the gap in skills. They want to achieve some productivity enhancement, for example, they want to increase productivity. What are issues that they face? So depending on the niche or depending on the business that you are in the B2B, you can use the same format to actually write this. And you're not necessarily just to start off with your products or even services. Because what you're doing now, you're putting, it makes sense for you and it's more appealing to the reader because I'm putting them right in the middle of whatever I do. Okay? So that's one way of doing it. So let's say now, okay, Andrew, I'm in a B2 e-commerce, e-commerce space, for example. Okay, what do I do? What do I write? So in e-commerce space, then obviously you have customers, right? People who bought from you. Okay. And then you would have, for example, the opposite side of it, non-customers. Oh, my writing is crap. Let me try this again. Non-customers. Okay. Then you basically have, what is this? People who bought, who shop for your products online, but they didn't complete the purchase. So you have the standard one, abandoned cart. Okay. And then you would have, obviously, people who buy very often with you, so-called your VIPs. And finally, you have people who are not interested. Right? I don't know why they're on your list if they're not interested, but maybe, initially they are, but along the way, tastes have changed and all the things. So that's possible. So what do you write for all these 5 categories of users? So if I want to write, for example, and this is where you segment your users already, because when customers, they are a different group. Non-customers, people are in but did not buy, for example, and then abandoned cart is very clear. So those are the triggers. So if you use an email system that is catered for e-commerce, for example, to answer Tiago's earlier question, is they will have all these things set up. And basically, once you do the integration with Shopify and those things, you actually see all this. And then you can build automation tied to each one of them. Okay. So your automation, your emails, for example, if I'm customer, I will obviously want to send, let's say, new stuff to them. Okay. Could be related to what they buy, could be associated or within the circle of the products that they buy. I can also talk about maybe education, how to use the products. All right. So if it's a big ticket item, you can actually do that. And then I could even run promotions, right, to get them to buy more or to get them to buy more often. Right. Then non-customers, then I may want to do, for example, like, maybe some time sensitive offers, right? I could also add new items to them. Okay. Abandoned cart, basically I can do reminders. I can do same thing. I can use time sensitive offers, right, to get them back in. I normally won't encourage too much discounts because over time your customers or your prospect kind of know they will purposely go and abandon the cart, knowing very well that they're going to receive an email for a discount, right? Then in the end, it's going to affect your what you call it, your margins, right? So if unless you do time sensitive, maybe 30 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, maybe you can try that, all right? VIPs, obviously, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them exclusive content, right? I'm going to give them early access. Okay. So recently I saw an ad by Nike. They have this members only kind of what. So they have special merchandise, for example. They have members only merchandise. So those things are basically for the VIPs, right? Non-interested, I think that's straightforward. You basically either you can ask them to do a survey, but if they are not interested, chances are they won't open your emails. Or you basically send me, like the injections, 9-letter words, did I miss anything? Right? You can do something like this. Right? Did I miss anything? And then just to trigger a simple one for them to respond back. If they don't, or, the next thing is you can unsubscribe them. Right? No point of them staying in, because if they want, they'll see your ads. Obviously, if you're e-commerce, you probably run ads as well. And if they find something that's useful, they can always, subscribe back. But all of this is still the reader in the middle. Okay? But you then cater according to the categories that they are in. All right? Hi, and thanks for watching. If you need my help to set up your email marketing engine for your business, just click on the link here and you see a list of services that will help you grow your leads and sales and also increase your profits through emails. I'm looking forward to working with you soon.